I'm Steve Foskett, and this is Worcester By Bike. Good morning, welcome to episode 21, Worcester By Bike. Today is the day for a shakedown ride. I just completed this early 90s Shogun Metro hybrid that I've converted to drop bars, 2x8 shifting, sort of modern upgrades for an older bike. I'm going to do a little bit of geeking out on bike stuff, which we don't really do a lot of these episodes. A lot of it's, being out in nature, riding, going to parks. But I am a bike geek at my core, so I do like tinkering. I like building them. In fact, every bike but the Blue Fuji that you've seen in these episodes, I bought that brand new, and I haven't done much to it except for replace wear items. But all the other bikes that I have that you've seen in these episodes, I've put together, from scratch, basically. This is going to be my winter bike / winter beater / rain bike. I've had one before. The last one I had was a Trek road bike, an old road bike from the early 90s, welded together, glued together. The shifter boss kept falling off, so I just said forget it. Today everything's on here except for the bar tape. I'm waiting on that, but it's actually a good idea to take a ride without the bar tape, because then you have to adjust something, the position of the brake levers or anything like that. You don't have to unwrap the bar tape. I got this at Worcester Bike, a wonderful little organization down on King Street. You volunteer 10 hours and you earn a bike, and then you kind of put that bike together using the shop. I've been doing this for about 2 years now. This is my second year volunteering with the group. I saw this frame, this old Shogun early 90s hybrid frame hiding in a pile. It had been sort of getting kicked around for a while. Someone had picked it over, took all the parts off of it. So I decided to sort of rescue it. We're going to get out there for a ride. There's only one way to know whether I did everything right, and that's get out on the road. Fingers crossed. Back roads of Auburn. Initial impressions. I love this bike. Love it already. I knew it would fit me nice. So I have another bike with similar geometry, the white Miata, that you might remember from a few episodes. Very nice old steel. It's really nice and forgiving. I think I like the tires on this. They were supposed to be kind of stand-ins, but I think I'm going to leave them. See how they go. Front derailleur. It's a little cockeyed. I think that's the only thing so far that I've noticed. When you stand out of the saddle, it kind of rubs. I'm liking the gearing. It's a 48, 34 in the front, which is nice. I'm on Route 56 in Leicester, which can be kind of hairy, but you do get a decent sized shoulder. So just be careful. But I just want to kind of put this bike through its paces. Nice long climb here. Make sure the gears are working, make sure the chain's not skipping. Because that front 34 of the 4834, the crankset, it's from an older bike, so I just want to make sure that the teeth aren't worn down. But so far, so good. Now, over here on these little quieter roads, I'm over by Cooper's Hilltop Farm over here. I'm just sort of listening. I'm listening for weird noises, listening for the chain, make funny noises in certain gears, might need to be adjusted. Just listening for things that might be loose. Everything seems pretty tight right now. I've done this before. Sometimes you can miss something. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye out, an ear out. But everything's fine. What's up, homies? You gotta check the brakes when you're on a shakedown run, obviously. Maybe before the big hills, but these work fine. They're Shimano cantilever brakes, sort of an outdated style. A lot of bikes now will have V brakes or linear pull brakes, or even disc brakes now is sort of becoming the norm. But I like cantilevers. If you set them up the right way, get a nice amount of squish, and they work pretty good. Great new pads too, so that's always a good thing. So as we've seen in Worcester By Bike, I have all kinds of bikes. I have aluminum, I have steel, carbon fiber. There is something special about steel. It's not just a myth. very forgiving. It's it's got a little bit of flex to it. It just kind of maybe makes you feel like you're going a little faster than you actually are, just because it's soaking up those bumps a little better than aluminum, which is really stiff. Carbon fiber is comfortable too, but it can be a little sketchy. So riding with no hands is illegal, actually, according to state law. But I'm a little bit of a scofflaw right now, because it's a good way to tell if your frame is straight, if everything's on your bike straight. If you take your hands off, you ride no hands, and the bike doesn't really list to one side or another, then you're good to go. Hope you enjoyed this quick little episode, Worcester By Bike, episode 21, the Shakedown ride. I'm going to keep riding, but this one's good to go. It really doesn't need that much adjustment. Like I said, the derailleur, a couple other small things, and then I gotta put the bar tape on, maybe get a rack, maybe some fenders, if it's gonna be a beater bike, or a winter bike, winter bike, same thing. The problem I always come across is that I'll build a bike, and it's supposed to be a beater bike, but it ends up being too nice. I end up liking it too much, and I end up kind of babying it, not taking it out in the rain, not taking it out in the snow. Your bike's not going to melt. You don't even really need a beater bike. Just ride your bike. Ride your bike all the time. The key is cleaning it after you get in. If you're riding out in the rain, salt, snow, whatever, hopefully you are. Just give it a good wash when you get home. That's the big thing. Make sure that chain is clean. Make sure you get all the muck off, quickly. Some people use a hose. Other people, you get one of those spray bottles at Home Depot, that you use for fertilizer or whatever. Just throw some water in it. That kind of thing. Just take care of your bike.